Hello everyone, this is Al, Red Sox fan, and we're coming back with some more retro replay using Action PC Baseball of 1977 Major League Baseball season. Second game of our doubleheader, featuring the New York Mets, which I will be managing, visiting the San Francisco Giants at Candlestick Park. The Mets went above 500 yesterday with their victory over the Giants. They're now 12 wins, 11 losses, and only sit a game and a half out of first place in the National League East. Unbelievable so far for these upstart 1977 New York Mets. The San Francisco Giants, well, they're struggling a bit here in 77 so far. 8 wins, 16 losses. Pitching for the Mets, Tom Seaver. Tom Terrific. He's made 6 starts on the year, 3 wins, 2 losses, earned run average of 2.94. The opposing pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, John Montefusco. Montefusco's made 4 starts on the year, 3 wins, no losses, ERA of 2.22. It is 56 degrees here at Candlestick Park. And as they say in retro replay world, play ball. So let's quickly go through the Mets lineup. Lenny Randle batting first, playing third base. Batting second, the right fielder Bruce Bosclair. Batting third, the first baseman Ed Kranepool. Batting fourth, the catcher John Stearns. Batting fifth, the center fielder Lee Mazzilli. Batting sixth, the left fielder Dave Kingman Kong. Batting seventh, Felix Millan, playing second base. Batting eighth, the shortstop Bud Harrelson. Batting ninth and doing the pitching, Tom Seaver. Tom Terrific. Unfortunately, the Mets traded Tom Terrific away in 1977. I only have a few more weeks of Tom Seaver. Probably one of the stupidest trades in baseball history. To the Cincinnati Reds for Doug Flynn, Pat Zachary, and a few others. Not that they were bad players, but just a stupid trade. In actuality, the Mets had pretty good pitching in 77. I mean, the results weren't there, but if you look at their earned run averages and their strikeouts, it's fun managing the Mets. They don't score many runs, so I play a little unorthodox. Lots of hit and runs, lots of bizarre things I do to try to manufacture runs, and it makes it fun. Alright, let's go to the San Francisco Giants lineup. Larry Herndon to lead off in center field. Darrell Thomas at second base, batting second. Batting third, Jack the Ripper, Jack Clark, playing right field. Batting fourth, the third baseman Bill Madlock. Batting fifth, the Hall of Famer, first baseman Willie McCovey, Stretch. Batting sixth, playing left field, is Randy Elliott. Forgot his first name. Batting seventh, the shortstop Tim Foley. Batting eighth, the catcher Mark Hill. And doing the pitching, batting ninth, John Montefusco. So Lenny Randle comes to bat and will be opposed by John Montefusco. In 1977, Montefusco, 7 wins, 12 losses, earned run average of 3.49. Struck out 110, walked only 46, batting average against 273. In the retro replay in 1977, earned run average much lower right now, 2.22. 3 wins, no losses. Struck out 18, only walked 9, batting average against 248. His battery mate doing the catching, Mark Hill, solid defensive catcher with an excellent arm, playing third base. Better known for his bat than his glove, Bill Madlock. Shortstop, Tim Foley, another solid infielder. Darrell Thomas at second, above average. And at first base, the aging Willie McCovey, he's below average defensively. In left field, you have Randy Elliott, he's out there for his bat. Doesn't cover a lot of ground, but has a very good arm. Larry Herndon, center field, and for a center fielder, again, doesn't cover a lot of ground, average arm. And then you have Jack the Ripper, Jack Clark in right field, above average defensively, and an excellent arm, 9 out of 10. So Lenny Randle steps to the plate to lead it off for the Mets. He's riding a 7-game hit streak. Randle in the retro replays hitting .375. No home runs, 1 RBI. In actuality, Randle hit .304, 5 home runs and 27 RBIs. Hill goes through the signs. Montefusco sets and delivers. Corners are in. Matlock and McCovey come in. Randle is an excellent bunter. The windup and the pitch. Randle right back to Montefusco, who throws to McCovey. 1 out. So Bruce Bosclair steps to the plate. The Mets right fielder's batting .381. No home runs, 4 RBIs on the retro replay. In actuality, Bosclair hit in 1977 for the year .293. 4 homers and 44 RBIs. Against right-handed pitching, Bosclair had a hit at a .309 clip in '77. 1 out, no one on. The windup and the pitch by Montefusco. Bosclair rips that to Madlock, who throws to McCovey for out number 2. Good reaction by Madlock at third base. That's why it's called the hot corner. So with 2 outs and no one on, Ed Kranepool steps to the plate. And if the Mets don't score in the first inning, it's going to be the first time in a while that they haven't scored in the first inning. The Mets have usually got all their runs for the game in the first inning these past 4 or 5 games we've played. And shown here on my YouTube station. Kranepool, .280, no home runs and 6 RBIs in the retro replay. Kranepool in 1977 for the year actually batted .281, 10 home runs and 40 ribbies. 2 outs, nobody on. The windup and the pitch to Kranepool. And Kranepool rips a line drive right back at Montefusco, and he makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. Due up for the Giants. Herndon, Thomas, and Clark, being opposed by Tom Seaver. In 1977, for the Mets, Seaver was 7 wins, 3 losses, earned run average 3.00, struck out 72, walked 28, batting average against .221 before he was traded to the Cincinnati Reds in June. Again, one of the stupidest trades in Major League Baseball history. His battery mate, doing the catching, John Stearns, solid defensive catcher with a very good arms. Third base, the average Lenny Randle. Shortstop, the aging Bud Harrelson, below average defensively. Felix Mian's playing second, good glove man. And at first, the adequate Ed Kranepool. In left field, Dave Kingman. He has a flair for the spectacular at bat and in the field. He'll make all the plays he's supposed to make, and now and then, a diving one. Very poor range and bad arm. Lee Mazzilli playing center field. Above average range, above average arm, and then you have Bruce Bosclair in right field. Again, another one of these outfielders who will make the plays at him, and he has a poor arm. So here we go. Herndon's at the plate. Larry's hitting .250 on the retro replay. No home runs, 2 RBIs. In actuality, Herndon hit .239, 5 ribbies and 1 home run. The windup and the pitch to Herndon. That's grounded to Randle. And Randle just eats the ball. He doesn't even make a throw. Herndon was quickly out of the box. Infield hit. So, leadoff runner on. Herndon's a 9 out of 10 for speed. He's definitely a threat to run. Oh my God. You always get some people in the chat who are just not that bright, but that's okay. Watch this. There we go. Back to the game. You always come across people in the chat, my friends, who are not that bright of individuals who cannot read. It clearly states Action PC Baseball, doesn't it? Yeah. So, I'm sure that person can find the ball game, the real ball game, the real Giants game, on YouTube somewhere. It's very sad that there's people like that out in the world. But you know what you do? You shrug it off, you kind of laugh at their stupidity, and you hope they don't repopulate. So back to the ball game. That was my public health announcement. So here we go. Darrell Thomas steps to the plate now. Thomas on the retro replay hitting .282, 1 home run, 11 RBIs. Herndon's at first. Receiver would love to induce a double play ball here. He sets and delivers to Thomas. That ball is sent out to Mazzilli in left. Mazzilli coming on. He's got a 48% chance of making a diving catch. We're going to say yes, but he cannot make the catch. He traps it. Thomas is on with a single. Herndon advances to second. Mazzilli made a good effort there, but did not come up with the out. So 2 on, nobody out, and Jack the Ripper steps to the plate. Jack Clark. Giants right fielder's batting .314, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs on the retro replay. In actuality, Clark hit .252, 13 home runs, and 51 RBIs. He only batted .218 off right-handed pitching, though. 2 on, no outs. Clark at the plate. Stearns goes through the signs. The windup and the pitch by Seaver. And he strikes out Clark for the first out of the inning. Big K there for Tom Terrific. And now I'll bring up Bill Matlock, Giant third baseman, hitting .296 on the retro replay. 1 home run, 15 RBIs. In actuality, Matlock hit .302, had a very good year at the plate batting average-wise. 12 home runs, 46 RBIs. He batted .302 off right-handed and left-handed pitching. 1 out, 2 on. Again, Mets looking for that double play ball to get him out of this jam here in the bottom of the first. The windup and the pitch to Matlock. And that's ripped into left field. Kingman quickly comes in, plays it on the hop. It was hit so hard that Herndon could not score from second base as he had to make sure Kingman would not catch the ball. So bases loaded, and Willie McCovey, stretch, comes to the plate. Hall of Fame first baseman. McCovey on the retro replay has been struggling. He's only batting .208, 2 home runs, and 7 RBIs. In actuality, McCovey had a good year at his advanced age in '77. .280 batting average, 28 home runs, 86 ribbies. If he sends 1 yard, he'll have a grand salami. Again, Mets looking to get 2 for 1 and out of the jam. The windup and the pitch to McCovey. And Seaver walks a run in. Good eye by McCovey. He works a walk, 1-0 Giants. Base is still loaded, 1 out. And no place to put Randy Elliott, who steps to the plate. Giants left fielder, .333 average, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. In 1977, Elliott actually hit .240, 7 home runs, 26 RBIs. Again, no place to put Elliott. Bases loaded with Giants. The windup and the pitch to Elliott. That ball sent out to Mazzilli, and it just continues to go up, up, and away like a beautiful balloon. It settles into the center field bleachers. Grand slam, 5-0 Giants. Tom Severs is not having a good day here in San Francisco, Candlestick Park. Stearns goes out to have a word with Severs at the mound. What do you say after a grand slam? There's not much to say there. Foley steps to the plate. Tim Foley, the Giants shortstop, batting .346 in the retro replay. 1 home run, 3 RBIs. In actuality, Foley batted .228, 4 home runs, 27 ribbies. Base is clear, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Foley. And he strikes out Foley. So there's 2 outs now. Giants catcher Mark Hill steps to the plate. Hill batting .200 on the retro replay. no home runs, 6 ribbies. 1977 for the year, Hill batted .250, 9 home runs, and 50 RBIs. The windup and the pitch to Hill. And that's grounded into right center field for another hit. San Francisco now has 5 hits to go with their 5 runs in the bottom of the first. 2 outs. Hill at first, and the pitcher, John Montefusco, steps to the plate. The Giants have sent 9 men to the plate here against Siebert in the bottom of the first inning. The windup and the pitch to Montefusco. And he strikes him out. We go to the top of the second. The Giants erupt for 5 runs, highlighted by the Elliott grand slam. Due up for the Mets, Stern, Mazzilli, and Kingman. John Stearns, Mets catcher, .258, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, retro replay. In 77 for the year, John Stearns hit .251, 12 home runs, and 55 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup here. Hill goes through the signs, the windup and the pitch to Stearns. And Stearns singles into right field. The ball drops in front of Jack Clark. A leadoff single. Mets need base runners, need to climb back into this game. Hello, Beatles Eternally, how you doing? Beatles says it's 4:30 a.m. here in Western Europe. LOL, I'm addicted to these games. Well, if you're up, you might as well watch, right, Beatles? Thank you very much for jumping back in the chat. Great friend of the channel, Beatles Eternally. So Stearns at first, Lee Mazzilli comes to the plate. Mets center fielder, switch hitter, will be batting left-handed against the right-handed throwing Montefusco. Mazzilli 205 for the retro replay. 1 home run, 4 RBIs. He's finally got his average over 200. In actuality, Mazzilli hit .250, 6 home runs, and 46 RBIs. No outs, Stearns at first. Here's the pitch to Mazzilli. And Mazzilli sends that ball deep. And Elliott makes a leaping catch at the wall, robbing Mazzilli of extra bases. Stearns quickly retreats back to first base. Wow, I thought that ball was gone when it came off of Mazzilli's bat. So 1 out, 1 on. Dave Kingman steps to the plate. Kong is hitting .250, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. In actuality, Kingman for the Mets before he got traded batted .209, 9 home runs, and 28 RBIs. Mark Hill goes through the signs. Montefusco sets and delivers to Kingman. Wild pitch! Hill couldn't knock it down. That's a wild pitch on Montefusco. Stearns advances to second. He's now in scoring position for Kong. 1 ball, no strikes. The windup and the pitch by Montefusco. And he strikes out Kingman. So 2 outs. Stearns at second. It'll be up to the Mets second baseman Felix Millan to knock him in or extend the inning. Tom Seaver on deck. No, Bud Harrelson's on deck, excuse me. Millan on the retro replays hitting .247, no home runs, and 7 RBIs. In actuality, the Mets second baseman, good glove man, batted .248, 2 home runs and 21 RBIs in 1977. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch by Montefusco. Ball 1, he'll take again. Ball 2, 2 balls, no strikes. He'll take again. 2-1 count. Millan's ready to grip and rip here. 2 outs. Stearns at second. The windup and the pitch to Millan. And Millan singles into right field. We're gonna send Stearns. We're gonna challenge Jack Clark's arm 9 out of 10, but we have an 86% chance of scoring. We're hitting yes. And we're going to hold Millan at first. Here's a throw to the plate, and Stearns slides in safely. It's now 5-1, so the Mets get a run back here in the top of the second. RBI single with 2 outs by Felix Millan. Bud Harrelson comes to the plate. Harrelson, very poor start in the retro replay. Only batting .180, no home runs, 8 RBIs. In 1977, Harrelson struggled all year. He only batted .178, 1 home run and 12 RBIs. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch by Montefusco. Strike one. Fastball in there on the inside corner. So, no balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Bud. And he strikes out. Inning over. The Mets score 1. We go to the bottom of the second. 5-1 Giants. Due up for San Francisco. Herndon, Thomas, and Clark, the top of the order. Hopefully Seaver has a better second inning than he did first. Herndon's 1 for 1. He singled when he had a little nubber down the third base line that Randall just picked the ball up and didn't even throw. The windup and the pitch to Herndon. That's grounded, foul down the left field line. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Seaver sets, and here's the pitch. And he strikes out Herndon. 1 up, 1 down. Darrell Thomas steps up plate. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the first and scored. John Stearns goes through the side. The windup and the pitch by Tom Seaver. And that ball's grounded up the middle for a 1-out single. Thomas now 2 for 2. Very good speed at first base. Thomas 8 out of 10. Base runner. He'll be held on by Cranepool. Thomas has a 28% chance of stealing second. Jack Clark steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today, as the Giants sent 9 men to the plate in the first inning. Mets looking to get a double play ball here. The windup and the pitch to Jack the Ripper. And he strikes him out. So Seavers has struck out 2 Giant batters for both outs in this inning. So 2 outs. Thomas still at first, and Matlack steps to the plate. He's 1 for 1. The windup and the pitch to Matlack. That ball is sent out to left center field. Mazzilli makes the running catch. Inning over. Let's jump to chat real quick. Beatles Eternally says, "Hi Eric, I enjoy your replays as well. Mind if I ask a question about Strat PC?" I don't know if he's still in the chat, Beatles, but yes. And if he doesn't answer, he's probably not in the chat. Just go to one of his videos and he'll reply. He answers all the questions. Another great station, Higher Ground Gaming. Check it out. Lots of fun retro replay sports on that. Eric does a wonderful job. So Tom Seaver to lead off this inning. Seaver's batting 118 as a pitcher. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch by Montefusco. Ball 1. He'll take again. 1-1 count. Seaver's to take. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Seaver will swing away. Hill goes through the signs. Here's the pitch to Tom Terrific. And he strikes out for the first out of the inning. Lenny Randall comes to the plate, the Mets' third baseman. 0 for 1. He'll take. Ball 1. He'll swing away now. Montefusco sets and delivers. And Randall works a walk. 1 out. Randall's at first. 9 out of 10 base runner, excellent speed. 55% chance of stealing second base, but we're down 4 runs, so we're not going to do that. Bruce Bosclair, the Mets right fielder, comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Montefusco sets and delivers. Bosclair will take. Ball 1. He'll take again. 1-1 count. We're going to play a little hit and run here with 1 out. Hill goes through the signs, the windup and the pitch to Bosclair. And Bosclair sends that ball deep to Herndon in center, but he makes the catch. Retreating back to first is Randall. 2 outs now, and Ed Cranepool steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He's going to swing away. The windup and the pitch by Montefusco. And that ball is a double off the wall. We're going to send Randall home. We got a 70% chance of scoring. We're going to hold Cranepool at second. The throw to the plate, and Randall's in there safely. Mets get another run. It's now 5-2. Cranepool with an RBI 2-out double. He's in scoring position for their catcher, John Stearns. He's 1 for 1. Mets trying to roar back in this game. Stearns will take the windup and the pitch. Strike one. Fastball in there. No balls, 1 strike. Stearns ready to grip and rip. 2 outs. Kranepool at second. The windup and the pitch by Montefusco. And Stearns works a walk. So first and second, 2 outs. Now Lee Mazzilli, Mets center fielder, comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Mazzilli, if he goes yard, we will have a tie ball game, folks. Mazzilli flew deep down the left field line. Elliott made a leaping catch up against the wall, robbing Mazzilli of extra bases. Mazzilli will swing away here. The windup and the pitch by Montefusco. 2 on, 2 outs. And Mazzilli walks. Bases now loaded. Could it be the Mets' turn to hit a grand slam? Well, they have the right man at the plate, Dave Kingman. Kong would love to Kong one out. Kingman batting .245 right now. He's riding a 6-game hitting streak. Kingman's always ready to grip and rip. Bases loaded. No place to put Kingman. 2 outs. 5-2 lead for the Giants. Mets threatening. The windup and the pitch to Kingman. And Kingman strikes out with the bases loaded. San Francisco fans cheer with delight. We go to the bottom of the third. 5-2 Giants. The Mets squandered a wonderful opportunity there. 2 up for the Giants. McCovey, Elliott, and Foley to face Tom Seaver, who rebounded well after that horrible first inning. McCovey walked his first time up. Lefty-righty matchup. The windup and the pitch by Seavers. That ball's grounded up the middle. A leadoff single by Willie McCovey. And here comes the man of the hour so far, Randy Elliott, 1 for 1. He hit a grand slam to right center to give San Francisco a 5-0 lead. Again, Seavers looking for that double play ball. He sets and delivers to Elliott. Grounded to Randall, who goes to first. But Elliott beats it out, an infield hit. That's the Giants' second infield hit of the game. McCovey advances to second. Seavers in trouble here once again in the bottom of the third. 2 on, no one out, and Tim Foley steps to the plate. If you're thinking bunt, he's only 3 out of 10. But hit and run, he's 10 out of 10, so they might have a play to put these runners in motion. The windup and the pitch to Foley. And he rips it to Randall, who quickly goes to second, eliminating Elliott to get the middle runner. 1 out. McCovey is at third. Foley's at first, so the Giants have runners on the corner for Mark Hill, the catcher, who's 1 for 1. Hill singled in the first. Again, the Mets will look for a double play ball to get Seavers out of the jam here. Giants lead 5-2, bottom of the third. Stearns goes through the sides. The windup and the pitch to Hill. Ripped foul to the left. It's now a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Seaver nods his head. He sets and delivers. And he strikes out Hill for out number 2. So 2 outs. Runners still at the corners. The pitcher, John Montefusco, comes to the plate. John's 0 for 1. He can help his own cause here if he can somehow find a little hole through the infield. It would score McCovey from third. The windup and the pitch to Montefusco. And that ball goes deep to Bosclair. And he makes the catch, inning over. So Seaver pitches out of another jam. We go to the top of the fourth. Giants 5, the Mets 2. 2 up for the New York Metropolitans. Mian, Harrelson, and the pitcher, Tom Seaver. Felix Mian's 1 for 1. He had an RBI single in the second inning, scoring the Mets' first run. He'll be taken. Here's the pitch. Strike 1. Off-speed pitch in there at the knees. No balls, 1 strike. The windup and the pitch by Montefusco. And Mian doubles off the center field wall. So a leadoff double for Felix Mian. Bud Harrelson comes to the plate now. Harrelson 0 for 1, and we're going to sacrifice Mian over because we want to make sure we get him to third, and maybe Tom Seaver can hit the ball in the air somewhere. So here's the pitch to Harrelson. Harrelson puts down an excellent bunt. They get him out at first, but Mian advances to third. And at the plate, looking to help his own cause, Tom Seaver. The Mets pitcher is 0 for 1. Corners are in. They're playing corners in because they're thinking Seavers might try to bunt here. Might be a squeeze play, so hopefully we can hit the ball by the corners here, and Mian can score. The windup and the pitch to Seavers, and he grounds it to Foley, which we have an 88% chance of scoring Mian from third. We're going to say yes. Foley goes to first. Seavers out. Mian scores. It's now 5-3 Giants. Mets creeping back in this ball game with single runs in the second, third, and now the fourth. So with 2 outs, no one on, Lenny Randle comes to the plate. Mets leadoff hitter. He's 0 for 1. Randle grounded to the pitcher in the first and walked in the third. The windup and the pitch by Montefusco. And Randle sends that ball out to Herndon, who comes in and makes the catch at center field. The Mets score another single digit. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 5-3 Giants, as the Mets creep ever so closer. 2 up for the Giants, the top of the order. Herndon, Thomas, and Clark to face Tom Seaver. Larry Herndon's 1 for 2. Singled in the first, struck out in the second. Stearns goes through the side. The windup and the pitch to Herndon. It's a swing and a miss, strike 3, but it's a wild pitch. Stearns can't corral it, so Herndon reaches on the strikeout, but the third strike drop, so Herndon is able to advance to first base. That's a rarity in baseball, to reach base that way, and we've just witnessed it. So once again, Herndon struck out. It counts as a strikeout. However, Stearns did not catch the ball. First base is not occupied, so the runner at the plate can attempt to run to first before the catcher throws him out, which Herndon did. So he's at first base, so that's an actual strikeout, but not an out recorded. So after all that's said and done, he's at first, and Darrell Thomas comes to the plate. Thomas is 2 for 2. Singled in the first and singled in the second. Herndon, 9 out of 10 speed, very good speed at first, being held down by Cranepool. The windup and the pitch by Seaver. And that's grounded into right field. Thomas now 3 for 3. He has owned Seaver today. First and second, no outs. Once again, Seaver's in trouble. And Jack the Ripper comes to the plate. Jack Clark, the Giants right fielder, 0 for 2. He is struck out both times up. Seaver would like to duplicate that process. Once again, triplicate actually. Give him the hat trick. Stearns goes through the side. Seaver nods his head. He sets and delivers to Clark. Grounded up the middle to Mazzilli. We have a 36% chance of Mazzilli throwing Herndon out at the plate. We're going to go for it. Here comes a throw by Mazzilli. And he guns Herndon out at the plate, keeping this a 2-run deficit. What a throw by Lee Mazzilli. Runners advance to second and third now, as the Giants organist and fans yell, "Charge!" So Mazzilli guns out Herndon at the plate, keeps it a 2-run deficit. Now stepping to the plate, Bill Matlock. RBI opportunity here. He has 2 ducks out on the pond. Thomas at third, Clark at second, 1 down. The Mets will move their infield in. So the infield's in. Madlock will look for a hole to get the ball past the drawn-in infield. Stern, flash to the side. Seaver nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Matlock. And he strikes him out! Huge strikeout there. So now 2 outs. It'll be up to Willie McCovey. Stretch is 1 for 1 today. Walked in the first, which scored a run. He got an RBI on that walk, and then singled up the middle in the third. On deck is Elliott, who hit a grand slam. So we're not going to walk McCovey to get to Elliott. But we will try to pitch around McCovey and see if we can get him to expand his strike zone. The windup and the pitch to McCovey. And that ball's grounded to Millan. He goes to Kranepool, inning over. So the Mets once again pitch out of a jam thanks to a great throw by Lee Mazzilli from center field to John Stearns, cutting Larry Herndon down at the plate. And then they get the next 2 outs, and here we are, top of the 5th. 5-3 Giants due up for the Metropolitans. Bosclair, Kranepool, and Stearns to face John Montefusco. Montefusco has thrown 64 pitches. He's good for 125. Bosclair's 0 for 2 today. The windup and the pitch by Montefusco. And Bosclair works a walk. Montefusco has had issues with his control. Let's see how many walks that is. Montefusco's now walked 4 and struck out 4 in 4 innings. So, Bosclair's at first, 6 out of 10 base runner, 35% chance of stealing second base, being held down by McCovey. Ed Kranepool comes to the plate, 1 for 2. Kranepool lined to the pitcher in the first and doubled in the third. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch to Kranepool. Strike 1, in there with the fastball, right at the belt, or just below the belt line. So no balls, 1 strike. We're going to play some hit and run here. Montefusco sets and delivers. That ball goes up the middle on the hit and run, and Bosclair goes first to third. Hit and run works to perfection for the Mets. So once again, the Mets are in business. Tying run at first base, and Ed Kranepool, 5 out of 10 speed. And John Stearns comes to plate. The Mets catcher's 1 for 1. Singled in the second, walked in the third. Stearns is not that good of a hit and run. Only 3 out of 10, so we're not going to do that. Only 1 out of 10 for bunting. He's going to be swinging away. At worst, we want an out that produces the run. Mark Hill flashes the signs. Montefusco nods his head. He sets and delivers to Stearns. Oh, he plunks him with the pitch. They didn't want to do that. Base is loaded now, with Lee Mazzilli coming to the plate. 1 swing of the bat, and the Mets will go ahead. Mazzilli threw out Herndon in the bottom of the 4th to keep this a 2-run deficit for the Mets. Base is loaded, no place to put Mazzilli. He'll take. Here's the pitch by Montefusco. Strike 1. Fastball in there. No balls, 1 strike. Mazzilli ready to grip and rip. The windup and the pitch. And Mazzilli grounds it back to the pitcher, who goes to the plate for the first out of the inning. So they force out Bosclair at home. 1 out. Base is still loaded for Dave Kingman now. Kong is 0 for 2. He needs to get an out that produces a run here, in worst case scenario. The windup and the pitch to Kingman. And he strikes out. Oh, wow, the Mets are 1 out away from squandering a bases loaded no out opportunity here against the Giants in the top of the 5th. Felix Millan steps to plate. He's 2 for 2, folks. Millan singled in the second and doubled in the 4th. The windup and the pitch by Montefusco. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And Millan rips a ball foul down the left field line. So it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count, 2 outs. No place to put Millan. Montefusco sets and delivers. And Millan goes to Foley, and he's thrown out at first. Inning over. Montefusco was a magician. He pitched out of a bases loaded, no out situation. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 5-3 Giants. Wow. Due up for the Giants. Elliott, Foley, and Hill. Elliott's 2 for 2 today. He had a grand slam in the first and singled in the third. Seaver's up to 102 pitches. He's good for 140. The windup and the pitch to Elliott. That ball sent deep to left center field, but Mazzilli makes the running catch for out number 1. Tim Foley steps to the plate. Giants shortstop's 0 for 2. Seaver sets and delivers to Foley. And that's grounded to Harrelson. He goes to Kranepool. 2 up, 2 down. Mark Hill, the Giants catcher, steps to the plate. 1 for 2. Hill singled in the first, struck out in the third. The windup and the pitch to Hill. And that ball sent out to Mazzilli in left center. He makes the catch, inning over. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 6th. Giants 5, the Mets 3. Due up for the Mets, Harrelson, Seaver, and Randall. Harrelson's 0 for 1. He struck out in the second and had a sacrifice bunt in the fourth. The windup and the pitch to Bud Harrelson. And Harrelson pops it up, calling for it is McCovey. He makes the catch for out number 1. And now, Seavers has thrown 110 pitches. He's good for 140. Tom's 0 for 2. We're going to keep him in the ball game. Here's the pitch to Seavers. And Seavers strikes out, goes to 0 and 3. Top of the order now, 2 outs, no one on. Lenny Randall steps to the plate. 7-game hit streak on the line. The windup and the pitch to Randall. And Randall rips a line drive to Foley. He makes the catch, inning over. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Giants 5, Mets 3. Leading off for the Giants, John Montefusco. Then the top of the order, Herndon and Thomas. Montefusco, the pitcher, 0 for 2. Seaver sets and delivers. That ball's popped up. Calling for it is Randall. Out number 1. Larry Herndon, Giants center fielder, comes to plate. 1 for 3. Stearns goes through the side. Seaver nods his head. He sets and delivers. But before that, there's a pinch hitter. Terry Whitfield will come in to pinch hit. Whitfield on the retro replay is batting .264, no home runs, 5 RBIs. In actuality, Whitfield hit .285, 7 home runs, 36 RBIs, and batted .312 off right-handed pitching. So 1 out. Whitfield's pinch hitting. We're going to try to see if we can make him expand the zone here. Try to hit the corners with the pitch around. The windup and the pitch by Seavers. And he grounds that ball in the right field, past beyond. So a 1-out single for the pinch hitter, Whitfield. 5 out of 10 base runner, 20% chance of stealing second. Kranepool will hold him on at first. Darrell Thomas steps to the plate. He's 3 for 3 today. He has owned Tom Seaver. Again, the Mets would like to try to pull off a double play and get out of this inning. Seaver's now up to 117 pitches. Let's see if we can expand the zone on Thomas here. Get him to reach. Here's the pitch to Thomas. That's grounded foul to the right. So no balls, 2 strikes. The windup and the pitch by Seavers. That ball sent out to Mazzilli. He makes the catch at the warning track in right center field. Out number 2. Whitfield retreats back to first base. Jack Clark comes to the plate. Clark 1 for 3. Struck out in the first, struck out in the second, and singled up the middle in the fourth. And Herndon was thrown out at home by Lee Mazzilli, robbing Clark of an RBI. The windup and the pitch to Jack the Ripper. And he walks. And Seaver is extremely upset at that call. They thought they had him. Stearns goes out to the mound to calm him down. So Seavers believes he should be back on the bench. Instead, it's 2 outs, 2 on, and Bill Matlack comes to the plate. Giants third baseman, 1 for 3. Singled in the first, fly deep in the second, struck out in the fourth. Seaver's now up to 126 pitches. He's got 14 more pitches in him. His threshold's 140. He sets and delivers to Matlock. And he strikes him out, inning over. So Seavers gets the strikeout just 1 batter later. Top of the 7th, 5-3 Giants. Mets looking to erase this 2-run deficit. And due up is Bosclair, Kranepool, and Stern. Still out on the mound for the Giants, John Montefusco. He's up to 99 pitches. His threshold is 125. Bosclair's 0 for 2. The windup and the pitch. Bosclair fouls it back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strike count. The windup and the pitch to Bosclair. And he sends that ball deep, but foul down the right field line. So they'll reset and do it again. 2-2. The windup and the pitch. Bosclair grounds to Thomas, who throws to McCovey. 1 out. Kranepool comes to the plate. Kranepool's 2 for 3 today. Line to the pitcher in the first, doubled in the third, singled in the fifth. Montefusco gets a sign from Hill. He sets and delivers to Kranepool. And Kranepool grounds a single into right center field. Tying run comes to the plate. John Stearns, the Mets catcher, 1 for 1. Singled in the second, walked in the third, and was hit by a pitch in the fifth. Montefusco's up to 110 pitches now. Kranepool 5 out of 10 base runner for speed, being held on by Willie McCovey. The windup and the pitch to John Stearns. And Stearns grounds it to Thomas, and that's a double play. Inning oh no! No, an error on the throw. So they get the middle runner, Kranepool, but Foley's return throw gets past McCovey. So it's 2 outs. Stearns is in scoring position at second, and Lee Mazzilli comes to the plate. The Mets center fielder threw out Herndon in the fourth. That was a huge defensive play, but offensively he's 0 for 2. Also replacing Herndon in center field is Terry Whitfield. Defensive range 3 out of 10, not very good. Arm of a 6, above average. Fielding percentage 976. So again, another one of these outfielders, he'll make the plays he's supposed to make. So it's up to Mazzilli here to keep this inning alive. Montefusco sets and delivers. 2 outs, 1 on. And Mazzilli rips that ball foul down the right field line. Mazzilli in the hole here. No balls, 2 strikes. Stearns getting a lead off second. The windup and the pitch. And Mazzilli sends that ball to Foley, and inning over. Foley throws him out. Mets threaten once again, but do not score. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Giants still lead 5-3. Tom Seaver's now up to 131 pitches. He'll be facing McCovey, Elliott, and Foley. McCovey's 1 for 2 today. The windup and the pitch to Stretch. And he strikes out McCovey. So 1 out. And Randy Elliott steps to the plate. He has been a nemesis to Tom Seaver today. Elliott 2 for 3. Grand slam in the first, singled in the third, and then fly deep to left center in the 5th. Stearns looks in. Now Stearns goes out to the mound. Seaver and Stearns were not on the same page there. Umpire says, break it up, boys. Stearns goes back behind the plate. Now they're ready. The windup and the pitch to Elliott. And as they were doing that, the Giants get a pinch hitter better. Gary Thomason comes in. Thomason on the retro replays, batting .238. 6 home runs, 13 ribbies. In actuality, Thomason batted .256, 17 home runs, and 71 RBIs. He's definitely a home run threat. 1 out, no one on. Thomason, the pinch hitter, at the plate. Seaver sets and delivers. And that ball is sent into right center field for a 1-out single. Seaver's now up to 142 pitches. Tim Foley comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3. This will be Seaver's last batter. Try to get a double play ball here. Thomason, 7 out of 10 base runner. Very good speed at first. 43% chance of stealing second. Kranepool is holding him on. The windup and the pitch to Foley. Grounded back to Seaver, who gets the lead runner. Now there's 2 outs. Foley's at first. Fielder's choice. And Mark Hill comes to the plate. Hill's 1 for 3. Seaver's now up to 149 pitches. He says he's okay, though. The windup and the pitch to Hill. 2 outs. Foley at first. That ball's grounded to Kranepool. He takes it to the bag himself. Inning over. Seaver once again pitches out of a mini jam. We go to the top of the 8th. 5-3 Giants. So that dreadful inning in the first for Tom Seavers, where the Giants scored 5 runs, is the only blemish so far. But it's a big blemish. The Mets have not been able to erase that blemish yet. Giants have gone to one of their closers. Gary LaValle steps in on the mound. LaValle, in 1977, had an earned run average of 2.05, 7 wins, 7 losses, 20 saves. Batting average against 239, struck out 93, walked 37. In the retro replay, no wins, no losses. His ERA is 0. He's pitched 9 innings. He has 3 saves. Struck out 10, walked none. Batting average against 194. He's been dominant so far earlier this year. The Valley will face Kingman, Mian, and Harrelson. Gave Kingman 0 for 3. And Kingman struggled horribly against left-handers. He didn't hit well at all anyway, but only against left-handers, only 180. The windup. And you know what? We're going to counter this. We're going to take Kingman out. And we're going to go with Mike Vail. He'll come off the bench to pinch hit. Vail batted .351 against left-handed pitching in 1977. So Mike Vail will pinch hit for Dave Kingman. The windup and the pitch by LaValle. And Vail strikes out. Big swing and a miss. So 1 out. Felix Mian steps to the plate. Mian hit left-handed pitching very well in 1977. .309 batting average against lefties. Hello, ID Gesture. How are you, my friend? How goes Grim Dawn? Hope your streams went well today. I enjoyed the one that I was able to watch and listen to at work. So Mian's 2 for 3. Here's the pitch to Felix. And Felix grounds it to Foley, who throws to McCovey. 2 up, 2 down. Bud Harrelson comes to the plate. And he's being called back for a pinch hitter. And that's going to be Mike Phillips. Phillips batted .400 in limited at-bats against left-handed pitching in 77. So Mike Phillips, even though he's a lefty, he hit left-handed pitching quite well. So 2 outs, no one on. It'll be up to Mike Phillips to extend this inning. Even though he's been dreadful so far, he's only batted .080 with 1 RBI. He's due to break out. He's due to break out. Hello, Ken Castro. So 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Phillips. And Phillips, Foley can't handle the ball at short. That is going to be an error. Bad hop. Tying run comes to the plate. Tom Seaver. We're going to pinch hit for Seaver. And Jerry Crody, one of the Mets' 3 catchers, I think will come in to pinch hit. Crody hit 330. No, where is it? Crody hit 327 off left-handed pitching. And we're going to go with Jerry Crody. He's going to come in to pinch hit for Tom Seavers. He represents the tying run here in the top of the 8th. 5-3 lead for the Giants. Giants scored all 5 of their runs in their first inning. The big blow, a grand slam by Elliott, who's no longer in the game. Thomason has come in via pinch hitter and stayed in the game to play left field. So Jerry Crody, one of the Mets' 3 catchers, comes in to pinch hit for Tom Seavers. Crody on the retro replay hitting .292, no home runs, 3 RBIs. In actuality, Jerry Crody hit .270 in 115 at-bats in 1977, no home runs, 7 RBIs. Well, Crody's ready to grip and rip. LaValle throws strikes. 2 outs, Phillips at first. Here's the pitch. And Crody sends that ball up the middle for a 2-out pinch hit single. Phillips goes first to third. The Mets are in business here, looking to tie this ball game up, folks. Lenny Randle comes to the plate. Randle batted .282 off left-handed pitching in 77. He's 0 for 3 today. He's looking to break out. Runners at first and third, 2 outs. Valley sets and delivers to Randle. And Randle rips it to Madlock, who throws the McCovey. Inning over. Once again, the Mets threaten but do not score. We go to the bottom of the 8th. San Francisco 5, New York 3. So, we need to make some changes here. I'm going to go into our roster. And I guess they're going to make us pick a pitcher first. So, we need to bring a pitcher in. And we're going to bring in Bob Apodaca. We'll pitch. Go to the 9th spot. And then we're going to move Bosclair to left. Vale will stay in the game and play right. And where's Phillips? Where's Phillips? Where's Phillips? Where's Phillips? Oh, there's Phillips. And Phillips will stay in the game and play short. So Bob Apodaca's on the mound now. When I think of his name, I always feel like singing the girl from Ipanema. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway. So we have Ken Castro, ID Gesture, and Beatles internally in the chat. Ken Castro says, ID, when are you going to do a payoff pitch again? And ID Gesture did a wonderful job with that game. And ID says, and I agree with him. He says, I'm not sure. It's a ton of work to do that game on the computer. When I get a chance, I'll try to bring you another game, but thanks for asking. Ken Castro said, cool, thanks. And ID does a wonderful job with that. So remember to check out ID Gesture's channel. Right now he's doing a Grim Dawn series. And just a little before we get back to the game. ID Gesture is one of the few YouTubers who will ask people who are in the chat to actually join his game and play. And so you can be on ID Gesture's channel and play. And that's really cool. So remember to check out ID Gesture. And also check out Higher Ground Gaming. And What's Blazing in Sports. And Broke Black Man 94. And Tabletop Baseball. And Baseball Demos. All fine channels. Alrighty, so Bob Apodaca's on the mound. He's going to face the pitcher Gary LaValle, but I think the Giants will come with a pinch hitter here. So I'm going to just click pitch, and most likely a pinch hitter will come up. No! He strikes him out. So they let him hit. So 1 up, 1 down, and now the top of the order, Terry Whitfield, came in for Herndon to play center field. He pinched hit and then played center field. Herndon is, Whitfield's 1 for 1 today. He singled in the 6th. Apodaca gets a sign from Stearns, the windup and the pitch. And he strikes out Herndon! 2 up, 2 down, both via the K. Now the Giants' second baseman, Darrell Thomas, steps to the plate. What a day he's having. 3 for 4. Let's see if Apodaca can strike out the side here. The windup and the pitch to Thomas. Grounded up the middle. Mian makes a nice play by the bag and throws him out. We go to the top of the 9th. Mets trailing by 2. Giants in the lead 5-3. Due up for the Metropolitans. Bosclair, Cranepool, and Stearns. Valley lefty-lefty matchup here versus Bosclair. Bosclair does not hit left-handed pitching. So what we're going to do is John Milner will come off the bench. Even though he's a lefty, he hits left-handers at a .234 clip, which is much better than Bosclair's 156. So here comes John Milner off the bench. Milner on the season's batting .219, 2 home runs and 8 RBIs in the retro replay. In actuality, Milner batted .255, 12 home runs and 57 RBIs. So here we go, last gasp, last chance, last call for alcohol at 2 you're through. Top of the 9th for the New York Mets. They need 3 outs to tie or go ahead. The windup and the pitch to Milner. And Milner singles into right center field. A leadoff single for Milner. And that will bring up Ed Kranepool. He represents the tying run at the plate for the Mets. Kranepool 3 for 4. And again, Kranepool only batted .150 against left-handed pitching. Let's go to the bench again. Oh boy, that's all I can say. We could go to Leo Foster. Leo Foster been in a horrible slump, but in '77 he hit .282. That's off right-handers though. My faux pas. I don't have anyone who hits over 200. I don't have anyone who hits over 200. Off left. You know what? Kranepool's 150. He's 3 for 4. We could play hit and run here. He's 7 out of 10. He's most likely going to put the ball in play. I hate to give up an out though. On deck is Stearns, who also, he's all right. The Mazzilli. If we could get the Vail hits left-handed pitching quite well, though he struck out against LaValle. Well, we're going to let Kranepool hit. We're going to play a little hit and run here, folks. The windup and the pitch of Kranepool. And swing and a miss, and they throw out Milner at second. So that totally backfired. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner eliminated. Kranepool's at the plate. We rolled the dice and came up craps. LaValle sets and delivers. And Kranepool pops it up in foul territory, and Foley makes a catch, unbelievable catch, right near the grandstands for out number 2. Giants 1 out away from defeating the Mets here. It's up to John Stearns, Mets catcher, 1 for 2 today. Singled in the 2nd, walked in the 3rd, hit by a pitch in the 5th, and grounded out in the 7th. Stearns struggles also against left-handed pitching. He'll take. Here's the pitch by LaValle. Ball 1, Stearns to take again. Ball 2, 2 balls, no strikes. Ball 3, Stearns puts the bat on his shoulder, and he walks. 4 consecutive balls. Wow. That's dreadful for LaValle. Lee Mazzilli comes to the plate. Mets center fielder's 0 for 3. Best moment of the game is when he threw out Larry Herndon at the plate, robbing Jack Clark of an RBI. Mazzilli only batted .228 off left-handers in '77. He'll be taking. Ball 5, he'll take again. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mazzilli ready to grip and rip. The windup and the pitch. And Mazzilli grounds a ball past Thomas for a single. 1st and 3rd. Mazzilli represents the tying run at first base. Mike Valley steps to the plate. LaValle struck him out in his first at-bat. Vail hit .351 off left-handed pitching in '77. Struck out in the 8th when he came in to pinch hit. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch. Strike 1. Curveball gets the corner. Vail did not like that call. He's behind in the count. Mets have runners at 1st and 3rd. 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Vail. And Vail strikes out. LaValle gets him again. Ball game over, folks. The Mets put the tying runs on base, but can't come through in the clutch. The Giants win 5-3. Let's go to the box score. Winning pitcher John Montefusco. He's now 4 wins, no losses. The loser, Tom Seaver, he drops to 3-3. The first inning, 5 runs killed Seaver. He did not give up another run the rest of the game. Player of the game, Randy Elliott. Grand slam in the first inning. Bring up the box score. Go to OBS. Box score will be up shortly. There it is. Let's quickly go through it. Yep, ID Jester, he hit a grand slam in the first. Hey, thank you very much for joining me, IG Jester. You take care. Remember, if you're watching now or later, please check out ID Jester's channel. Lots of fun. Does a great job. So let's go through the box score here. Go to the pitching. Tom Seaver, 7 innings, 12 hits, 5 runs, all in the first inning, all earned. He gave up that 1 home run, the grand slam. And basically the ball game was over. 2 walks, and Seaver struck out 10. Bob Apodaca came in. Pitched 1 inning. Clean slate, K'd 2. John Montefusco went 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, walked 4, struck out 6. LaValle came in, earned his 4th save, 2 innings, 3 hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 2. The Mets had their opportunities in this game, but they couldn't capitalize. Seaver goes to 3-3, Montefusco goes to 4-0, and as I said, LaValle, 4th save. Let's go to the batting real quick. Randy Elliott was player of the game. He was 2 for 3, 4 RBIs. He had that grand slam, and he scored a run. Rest of the Giants lineup, Herndon, 1 for 3, 1 run scored, struck out twice. Whitfield came in to pinch hit, and play right center field after. 1 for 2, struck out once. Thomas at second base had a wonderful day. 3 for 5, 1 run scored. Clark, 1 for 3, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, robbed of an RBI when Mazzilli threw Herndon out at the plate. Matlock, 1 for 4, 1 run scored. He struck out twice. McCovey, 1 for 3, 1 run scored, 1 RBI, 1 walk, 1 K. Elliott, we already told you about. Thomason pinch hit for him. He went 1 for 1. He stayed in for defense. Tim Foley, shortstop, went 0 for 4. Mark Hill, the catcher, 1 for 4. Both Foley and Hill struck out. Montefusco 0 for 3. He struck out. LaValle 0 for 1. He struck out. So in total, the Giants were up 36 times, 5 runs. They all came in the first inning. 12 hits, 5 RBIs, 2 walks. They struck out 12 times. And the 1 home run, the grand slam by Elliott. They left 22 runners on base. For the New York Mets, Lenny Randle, 0 for 4 with a run scored, 1 walk. Vosclair, he's been slumping, 0 for 3 with a walk. Milner, 1 for 1. He had the pinch hit, but then was thrown out on the failed hit and run at second base. Ed Kranepool, 3 for 5 with an RBI, 1 double. John Stearns, 1 for 2 with a run scored, 2 walks. Mazzilli, 1 for 4 with a walk. Kingman, 0 for 3. He K'd 3 times. He really killed the Mets. He came up a couple of times in crucial situations with runners on base and could not put the ball in play. Vail came in to pinch it for him, ended up going 0 for 2. He struck out twice. So out of the 6th spot, 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. That's not good between those 2 players. Felix Millan, 2 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI, doubled once. Harrelson, 0 for 2, struck out once. Phillips, 0 for 1. Severs, 0 for 3 with an RBI. He had a ground-out RBI. He struck out twice, so he helped his own cause. Jerry Grody came in to pinch hit. He was 1 for 1. And Bob Apodaca pitched the 9th inning, did not get an at-bat. The Mets, 35 at-bats, 3 runs on 9 hits, 3 RBIs, walked 5 times, struck out 8 times, had 2 doubles, no triples, no home runs. They left 20 runners on base. Highlight of the game, Randy Elliott, grand slam in the first inning. Tim Foley made 2 errors, and Darrell Thomas 3 for 5. Kranepool also 3 for 5. Elliott 2 for 3. John Montefusco got the win, 7 innings. 4-0. Valley, 4th save. Tom Seaver gets the loss, 3-3. This is Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much for watching. I'd like to have some shout-outs here. ID Gesture, thank you very much. Ken Castro. Remember to check out ID Gesture's channel. Big shout-out to Ken Castro, good friend of the channel. Huge shout-out, once again, to Beatles Eternally, another huge friend of the channel. And also Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Check out Eric's channel. That's Higher Ground Gaming. Also check out Broke Black Man 94. He does a wonderful job for me. He helps out with the moderation of the channel. He was here earlier for the first game. He wasn't here when we got the dink who came in who made a horrible comment, who I banned for life. Anyway, he's gone. Excellent. Also check out Tim Gersh, another moderator of my channel. And What's Blazing in Sports. If you like boxing talk, he does a wonderful job. And Tabletop Baseball. And Baseball Demos. And Retro Sports League. Network, sorry. All good stuff there. So once again, as Al Red Sox fan, the Giants defeat the Mets 5-3 in a really fun game. It was a fun game to watch and play. Unfortunately, I managed the Mets and I lost. Appreciate everyone who watched now or later. I might be back once again with another game. I'll see. It could be a triple header. I think we'll do a little Digital Diamond Baseball, though. Little 1978 retro replay. We'll see. Or we'll set up our one-and-done tournament using Action PC Baseball. So health and happiness. Till I see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. And God bless.